Volcanism.
That's complicated.
Okay. Anybody know what volcanism is? Volcanism is the processes that deal with the release that's not how you spell release at all. There we are.
Same then.
Of magma and gases from Earth. If you guys were in a class below you, I'd make a joke about the release of gases because those kids fart like it's nobody's business. 8th graders are pros. Anyway, so volcanism. We have a couple different kinds of volcanism, okay? We've already kind of mentioned this. Again, this is why we're kind of buzzing through this a little bit quicker than we went through most things. We've got convergent volcanism. Okay, and this is where you're going to have either due to subduction volcanoes or volcanic islands form.
I hate the word island.
Islands.
Because I wanna, every word I say I want to pronounce it how it's spelled, so I go Iceland every time.
You'd say Iceland?
Yeah, because like in my
I would
brain.
definitely go Island.
Iceland.
That's
Because
why-
island. Island. And you go Iceland.
I still don't call February all the time. When I was a little kid, I used to call it February because that's how it's spelled.
I don't know, so.
Anyway, so convergent volcanism, when we did that FET, the online activity, you could see as magma went down, or as water went down and it helped heat up and melt the crust, magma would form and it would rise up and create either volcanic islands or mountain ranges. And so we have two main convergent volcanism belts on the planet. One of them, so two main belts, and I say main belts, there's one main belt and then another one that's kind of important. Okay, the main one is the Circum-Pacific
C or S?
Circum-Pacific belt. Okay.
And then the Mediterranean belt, right?
Yeah. What is the other name for the Circum-Pacific belt?
Ring of Fire.
Yep.
Who corrects you, man? Just kidding.
Okay. And so this, the Ring of Fire, the Circum-Pacific belt. She's a big old gal. Anybody know why we call it the Circum-Pacific? Because it pretty much goes around the pretty much the circumference of the Pacific
Like
belt.
The Ring of Fire because it's a ring. A circle ring. Rings are circles. Yeah.
So anyway,
Circle.
Circum-Pacific belt, okay? Right here. It starts down near the tip of Argentina. Argentina. Okay?
I'm so mad at racism. Here he is.
That's how you spell it. That's how you pronounce it. They don't pronounce the G. It's pronounced more like an H. I took 4 years of Spanish. Okay?
Alright.
Conversational. Been to 2 Spanish-speaking countries. Get out of here. Bottom of Argentina. And goes north along western edge of North and South America. Okay. Follows the Aleutian Islands. All right. And then goes down along Japan into the Philippines, and then kind of finishes down near New Zealand. Okay. Crosses Pacific through
Oh, no,
Aleutian Islands, runs south from Japan to New Zealand, home of the Lord of the Rings. What?
You recording?
Sure am.
Okay, cool.
Why?
Well, I just was making sure.
Making it easier on you.
I always make sure I'm recording, except when I don't.
Yeah.
Okay? So, notoriously along this, what do we have a lot of? And
Bridges.
earthquakes.
Earthquakes. Because volcano.
Yeah, good job. All right. So as you can see here, the Marianas Trench kind of runs along the edge of the Pacific Plate and the Philippine Plate. All right. But yeah, it's a pretty volcanic place. Lots of volcanism going on there.
I'm like you're talking about bullshit.
Okay.
Volcanoes and.
Volcanism?
I don't know how he says it with the vol.
Volcanism?
Yeah, like volcanism.
Volcanism. Like volume.
That sounds like a.
But
bad
anyway,
name.
each one of these, as you can see, shows pretty major, where there's a little star-shaped thing, that's a major volcano, all right? We've got these two in the middle. What's that? Oh, whoa, what is it?
Hawaii.
Hawaii. Now, this is the Pacific Plate. Is there any plate? Where does Hawaii, how is Hawaii, what does that even make sense?
It's
Right
a
there,
volcano.
it's a volcanic island.
How? Where? There's no plate.
It's in the middle of a
Good question.
Yeah, right? We're gonna learn. All right. I'm gonna leave this picture up though for a little while we talk about this. So we've got our first major plate, okay, or major belt. This is the big one,
You got the Mediterranean, though.
What is it called?
Circum-Pacific. It's right there.
Oh, Pacific.
Were you thinking I was saying specific? You're like the little kids who call it the Pacific Ocean.
I do that. So, yes.
All right, and the second belt.
Yes, I am.
Are you being specific?
There's only one T in Mediterranean.
Spelling genius.
2 R's though.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Is this like a new like? the
Nope, this is
second
just
one?
the second belt, so this is like down here. Sorry, they didn't give me big old boards. I wish I had the room that I got taught biology in college. They had like a 2-board system, and so like, and the ceiling was like 2 to 3 times as high, and basically he'd finish writing here, and then he'd slide this board up, and pull the other board down, and wipe the other board down. So you had all the notes from the last one up there.
Neat.
And then when you were done with this one, you flip them and then so cool.
Cause wasn't like this way more expensive than like a whiteboard?
Yeah, well, I don't know, but whiteboards don't have this rough stuff that it's more surface area, so you use more marker, and it's harder to erase, so you use more of that stuff.
They are not big brain.
Look at that beautiful thing over there, so smooth.
They are big brain.
Minus that big dent in it.
Yeah,
I
well,
just think that
that's a shipping thing. Anywho's it what? So anyway, the Mediterranean belt, right? Mediterranean belt we can see here. Where does it look like it goes when we look at the earthquakes?
Through the Mediterranean.
Goes through which country?
Italy.
Mostly through Italy. Italy is a hotbed for this.
Oh.
Anybody know the what big old volcano sits in Italy? It went boom.
Okay.
No, Pompeii was the city it took out. Wow, you'd be bad at trivia. Mount Vesuvius.
Are you good
Okay?
at trivia show?
I'm great at trivia.
We all do
You
volcano.
should do Jeopardy.
We're learning right now, James. This isn't time for comments from the peanut gallery. This is time for learning.
Jeopardy, like act and then you can earn money.
Alright, so anyway, Mediterranean belt. Alright, this runs through Italy,
It's still going, but it's not
Italy. And then kind of runs, after it goes through Italy, the reason we call it the Mediterranean belt is essentially just wraps around the Mediterranean Ocean.
I can spell one word right now.
I spelled rats wrong totally.
Mediterranean Ocean, or Mediterranean Sea, it's not an ocean. Stupid, Mr. Schultz.
Yeah, how are you the smartest person in the world?
Because I'm able to recognize when I make mistakes, and that's the mark of a true genius.
I can
See,
remember all those letters.
Turkey. Bang, boom, look at that.
Turkey.
Because he wrote a lowercase and
I did write a lowercase t first. And then I said, oh wait, that's a proper noun. What? Wasn't she in the Black Eyed Peas?
Angel, who hurt
Fergie?
you? Oh, hurt you.
It's Fergie. It was a bad joke.
Yeah.
God, could you guys not make fun of me,
But
please?
the arc of that is the sea.
So we talked about convergent volcanism. That's where it goes bang bang, and then it's subduction and makes volcanoes, right?
Why does
So-
that make more sense to me than all these notes?
Because it's why use many word when few word do job?
Oh my goodness. Because you're very small brain. Excuse me?
So divergent volcanism, okay? This is essentially just what happens at your mid-ocean ridges, right? It separates, the lava spills out. Now, do we have like big eruptions like we do with volcanoes? No! Okay? This lava spills out. Okay? And what we're going to call that is forms pillow lava.
Oh, I didn't know if I misheard him.
Nope, it's sure pillow lava. Pillow lava.
Oh, is it that? I think I know what you're talking about.
It's little lava pillows. There's no easier way to look at this.
No, not what I thought he was talking about.
Look at these. Look at all that. Look at these.
Those do not. Those look like they should have called them lava snakes. Yeah, that's what I thought. Snakes.
Or turds.
No, those like little firework things where you just like light the end and then it like grows and it's supposed to be like a worm. Yeah, that's what
Look
those look
at
like.
these. Don't those look like little soft?
They look like a bunch of
Look at this. Doesn't that look like a little pillow? Look
That
at,
looks like my pillow.
look at this. Look at this. Pillow time. It's a pet. It's a pillow. It's a pillow.
Yeah, that,
Oh my
Your
gosh,
whole
I have
personality is based
those.
off you had a pillow.
that looks like my pillow and there's probably
I have
like
a
a
little
lazy
pet.
hardness.
But anyway, so it forms this stuff called pillow lava.
Yeah, I hate Lexi with my pillow.
All you really need to know is that it eventually builds up, spills out the side, and then makes new seafloor. Okay? Spills outside. Makes new oceanic crust.
Oh.
I still can't believe that's the best horse that you can do.
You know what? You know what? There was effort. I did the nay. I did the nah thing. Wait, what did I do? I said nay. I said nay, and then I did my.
Do horses say nah?
Wait, so what's your horse in
Yeah, you do a horse impression.
Oh, this is tough.
I'm waiting for him to slaughter it.
I probably will.
It was better than mine.
Well, anything was better than yours.
Somebody would cough and they'd be like, improvement.
And you'd be like, and they'd be like, oh, you're getting better at your horse impression. Oh.
I cried, okay?
Alright, so we got these. Alright, we're done with that. I don't care about divergent anymore. Blech. Let's talk about hotspot volcanoes.
Is this with the convergent and
Nope,
divergent?
these are all 3 different main heading things. All under the big title of volcanism.
That's what Hawaii is. A hotspot volcano.
There you are. Look at this stallion.
Stop.
I'm saying he had geography.
Yeah, I really do think that's what happened.
Yeah, I think we just were really lacking in the geography department.
What happened?
Yeah.
I should have just taught you geography class.
Yeah, geography was rough.
It was really rough.
I just turned in something that said Hot Pockets.
I just learned that you're not supposed to try and track vodka from its origin.
I didn't getting in trouble by principal.
Is that orange in your water bottle?
Anywho, so let's look at the Hawaii Islands. No, that's the Circum-Pacific Belt. Go to this one. Bang, boom, okay. So, if we look here,
Is the island of Nublar actually a real island?
Isla Nublar? No.
Yeah. No.
It's where they did Jurassic Park at.
Oh.
I wish they did have a episode.
No, they don't.
It's depressing. Maybe it will become eventually.
They didn't say film in California or something.
Anywho, hotspot volcanoes, okay? So, when we have weird volcanoes or volcanic island ranges that form in the middle of a plate, right? This doesn't make sense. I thought volcanoes only formed at the edges of plates. How does the magma come up? Through a hotspot, okay? So, this is in upper mantle, okay? Magma basically concentrates. There is no I in concentrates. Jeez.
There's not?
No.
One
Wait.
point under plate and pushes through the plate. Okay, so when we look at this, when we look at our good old Circum-Pacific, Hawaii's right there. Whoa, what's going on? That doesn't make sense. That's because right there in the middle of our plate, okay, there's a big old pot of magma. And it's like, I want to get out. I don't want to wait until I get all the way over here. I'm going to push up, okay? And so it pushes right there, all right? And it comes up. And as that pushes through, it makes a small underwater volcano, okay? Makes underwater volcano. Okay? If we have enough time where that thing can build and 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 build, what's it gonna do?
It's gonna be above ground.
Yeah, well above above the
sea
water.
level.
Yeah. Okay?
A volcano.
It builds up and makes
Above ground.
volcanic island. Now, what is this silly plate doing while all that's happening?
Moving.
It's sure moving. Does the hotspot move?
No.
No! The hotspot doesn't move, okay? And this is why we got something that looks like this. So, just to let you know, the Pacific plate moves kind of like this, right? It doesn't move specifically west, it moves more northwest, all right? So it's moving northwest. What's it gonna do? If we're
It's gonna hit Eurasia plate. I don't know.
okay, all of these islands, all right, used to be right over the hotspot. All right, we can track this. Okay, so as plate moves,
That's what I imagine Among Us characters sounding like.
hotspot stays in one place and island chain forms. Okay, and so we have a bunch of islands. Now, are all of those islands, do they all have active volcanoes on them?
No.
No, because there's only one volcanic hotspot. Okay? But at one point they all did. Alright? Why do we have these islands over here aren't really, like we have Midway's kind of an island, got a few smaller islands, but a lot of these are like just really shallow in terms of just where the ocean's at.
Because they're new.
They're older.
They're older.
What happens when you got all that seawater coming but there's no more buildup?
Erosion and weathering.
Weathering and erosion. Good job, you're so smart.
Oh my
You guys are
God.
smart. See how we're tying everything together? Okay. But anyway, so we've got these hotspot volcanoes. You guys understand that basically these island chains form due to that, but then they become dormant as they move away from the hotspot.
So
Okay?
I'm confused how they're moving. Now I get that like the tectonic plates, but like what's happening?
So, right here,
Uh-huh.
this is where the hotspot is,
Can
right?
you like zoom in on the picture?
I mean, I have to.
Oh, wow.
Like that, Bridget?
Yes.
Okay, so the hotspot's right here, okay? But the plate is moving
Oh.
this way, okay? And so originally, however many millions of years ago,
Oh, I see.
this is where the Hawaiian Islands were, okay? And you can see it maybe a little bit better here. This was like the OG island, okay? The original. And as it moved, the plate moved it away from the hotspot.
That's the
And then
second
this
time I've heard a teacher say OG today.
Who else said it?
Mark.
That makes sense. Alright, so then this became the next one. Alright, so think of it. You see how this island's right next to this island right now? Right there? Those two?
I see those two.
These two used to be like that. But the plate then moved. Okay? That clear things up? Sick.
Okay, when you're going for a peace sign and then you accidentally just stick up one of your fingers and you're like, no.
No.
Ah! Okay, so anyway,
No, it's
so as the plates move, okay, the hotspot stays in one place, volcanoes
I'm running out of room.
I did too.
become dormant as it moves off hotspot. Boom. Any questions? Are we good? Next part.
Scribble, scribble.
Volcano anatomy.
How much is this gonna be? Like a lot or like a little?
There's like 4 things.
Like less than this or more than this?
That little bottom part,
Do you think it'll fit in that little box?
more. There's a picture.
There's a picture. Oh no.
Oakley dokley. So,
I like that.
what?
Really dozy.
Navarino.
All right. So,
Someone named their child that.
Rip.
Oakley Dokley.
Oakley dokley. Could you imagine being called by Can we get an Oakley dokley?
all right.
How much
So,
room do we need for this drawing?
small to medium.
Like that much?
Sure. Yeah, that probably is an appropriate amount of space. Okay. So,
Do I need space above it? Uh-huh.
so right here.
Yeah, that's a good question. Do we need space above it? Thank you for that.
This at the top, your opening of the volcano. Anybody know what that's called?
The opening of the volcano.
It's the
Vent.
Wow.
The vent. Okay. And so the vent is, shockingly, this is the description, the opening of the volcano.
I just spelled opinion.
Did you spell it wrong?
I spelled opinion. So.
Odd. What a weird thing to do.
Did you spell opinion right anyway?
No. Not good. I don't know though. I researched.
Among Us.
No.
Alright, so anyway, then, coming up. Alright, you got your down here. Oh, let's use red, make this more better. More better.
Amazing.
Again, more better is not a word. Better
It's
is
not a full circle. Magma chamber. This is a chamber for magma. I'm not going to talk about that any more than I need to. Okay, this is where the magma's at.
That is for the magma.
Now we need to connect this
Place
to
that
this.
Oh, geez.
What do you do there?
The line.
A swirling line.
Boom, 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 boom. Okay, what do we call that thing?
Neck.
No,
Vent.
we already have one of those.
Tunnel. Secret tunnels.
The conduit.
I got that. I like that show.
Conduit.
The conduit, yeah. Okay.
Minecraft, help me.
The conduit. This connects magma chamber to vent. Wow. This is very, very difficult.
This is so. Yes, Schultz, I don't understand. Yes, I have no clue.
Okay. Anywho, now, sometimes we get these things. Big old craters. They're called. Wait, this is we're gonna now imagine if this whole thing big blew up
Okay.
and then it made like a big hole. Okay?
What?
That hole caldera.
Sounds like
Where do these people make up these words from?
Mostly Latin. Okay, so caldera. A caldera is a large crater over 1,000 kilometers. I think, was it 1,000 or 100? 100, sorry, not 1,000. 1,000 would be massive. Be huge. Okay, 1,000 or 100 kilometers in diameter. That result from volcanic explosion and collapse. Okay, so if this thing did a real big boom and it made everything collapse on in itself, it would form a caldera. Okay? Have you guys ever heard of the Yellowstone caldera?
Is that the one that's gonna kill us all?
Yeah, because if it goes and does the big boom, then we're gonna die. Honestly, I'd rather be here than in like New York City or in like China, because we'll die like fast and it'll be painless, and then I'll get like choked out by smoke.
Wait, China will be affected by it too?
100p. 100%.
Wait. So we moved up to California.
Underground? Underground near like China?
So if Yellowstone exploded, like the whole human population would not.
We'd struggle. We'd have to live under. We'd have to struggle. Or we'd have to live underground for a while.
Or in space, in a spaceship for like 100 years.
Wow. Where could you have gotten that idea? All right, and that's the anatomy of a volcano.
This is like human anatomy. It's complicated.
No, that class. I'm so unexcited to teach that class this year.
Anatomy is not cool.
I would not do human anatomy.
What?
Why? Demanding.
It's so.
There's just the bones. There's bones.
There's
That's-
also.
and organs and all that stuff. But like,
Instead of like learning about cool things, it's like, oh, this is your femur. It's the longest bone in the body. It attaches at your acetabulum in a ball and socketoid, and then an hinge joint to your tibia. Alright, this is your ribs. It's just more, it's like memorization crap. Ugh, garbage. It's dumb.
you should make up a song for it all.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just gonna get a bunch of fetal
Maybe
pigs and
I'll
we're gonna
figure-
cut them up. That's my whole plan, to make that class semi-interesting.
Do what?
get a bunch of fetal pigs and cut them up.
Oh, fine. I've done that before.
Pigs have very similar anatomy to humans in terms of organ structure. Anywho, all right, let's learn about the 3 types of volcanoes.
3 types of volcanoes. More?
There's
You're a
like
big
a.
picture, Schultz.
Oh my God! Would you stop complaining?
I already used. Sorry, I did a weird sound.
I thought that you guys said I bought like 2 days of good behavior last week when I gave you ice cream. You're talking back.
You did. I never said when you were gonna
This
get
is
2
good
days
behavior.
This is awful behavior.
No, this is not best
I
behavior.
equal good behavior.
All right, so 3 types of volcanoes. Okay. Our first type of volcano is going to be called a shield volcano. Is that right, or is it EI? Nope, it's IE.
What? The word shield. How to spell it? You don't know that.
Okay, a shield volcano. These are real big old boys. Okay? Big boys.
Perfect.
Okay? Largest volcano. What?
What?
They are. They're big old boys for volcanoes. Okay, would you always say big dogs? They're big dog volcanoes.
You have to be sexist about it. It can be big girls, okay? Just kidding, please don't. Don't ruin it, Shells. Thank you.
Non-binary.
Non-binary. But non-binary doesn't equal non-gender specific.
Yeah, this is more inclusive.
There's more. Than
Okay,
non-binary.
boom.
Non-binary just does not identify as a gender. Non-specific is any gender.
According to Google, my gender is a toaster pickle.
Anywho,
Me though.
all right. So these have really long. What's the word I'm not looking for? Not steep, but it's not
Slope?
flat.
Slope?
Long, yeah, but it's like a low slope. Because steep is high slope. Flat.
Mount
Incline.
Low, long, low incline. Sure.
Long, low.
You won.
Sides of the mountain. Okay, so it has long, low incline. So it's just kind of like a gradual walk up to it. All right. Very nice.
Is a walk up a volcano nice?
Yeah, super nice. Because these are the nice volcanoes, okay? These are your happy boys, or happy non-gender specific things. They are made from layers of basaltic magma spilling over. Okay, and so the magma just kind of rolls off the sides and then hardens. And so these do not explosive eruptions. Okay, so many of Hawaii's volcanoes, their big one, Lau, I think is the name of it. Mount Lau is like just a happy little guy, just trickles out the side. Okay.
A lot of it.
Just burns you to death.
That's fine. Like everything on fire, it's fine. Just happy.
It's happy.
Joy. Fire.
Didn't you watch Moana? The thing was happy at the end. The volcano was like, oh, we're
I
good.
wasn't happy at the beginning.
Yeah, because people were bad to it, but this guy, he's happy.
Are you sure?
Good
it's
vibes
not?
only.
It should say it's happy.
Yeah, this guy, he's chilling on the ocean breezes, just throwing up the shakas. He's happy. All right? All right, so we've got these. Our next one, okay? These are the smallest ones. So we're going from the biggest ones to the smallest ones.
Less than a page, he said. Just kidding. It's okay.
We literally have this one, and then the next
It's
one,
okay,
and
it's
then
okay.
2 other words to even.
I'm over a page and a half, so
Well, that's good. Maybe you should condense down your writing.
It's alright, Charles. I'm not blaming you.
Yo,
Alright.
well, no, really.
Cinder cone volcanoes. Okay? These are the smallest. If these were dogs, they wouldn't go, "Hoo!" That's these. These are big dogs. These ones go, "Hoo!" Okay? These are little dogs.
The ones that like keep when they bite you.
Yeah. These are just the little guys. Okay?
So I get your pardon. Why is there a walking in a science room?
These
elephant.
These are, I mean, to be fair, if there was going to be an elephant here, it'd probably be in this room. I mean, make the most sense. All right, so these are the smallest of the three types, okay? They are also very steep. Okay, they're pretty much the exact opposite of these. Now, why do we think we call them cinder cones?
Is it their
Made of cinder.
They're pretty conical, and they're made of cinder, basically, okay?
Big brain.
Okay, made of
Oh, that hurts. My head hurts.
volcanic,
What's the first word?
made?
You're good.
Made of volcanic debris pieces. Piled up. Okay, so it's basically just a pile of things. Now, these are generally semi-explosive. Okay? Semi-explosive.
I'm semi-explosive.
Now, one of the reasons that they're semi-explosive is because that cinder cone that is not super well structured and has a tendency to blow up like a little grenade. Okay? Any questions about those? No? Cool. That's what I like to hear. Don't worry about a thing. What?
See how much faster this goes when no one's complaining?
No.
That was also a lot
We
shorter.
complained so much. And through that whole thing, we complained so much.
What were you?
I just was thinking of when Moana song sound.
I forgot that we
You
go
don't know the
Anyway, we're not done yet. Okay, last one. You guys ever heard of Mount St. Helens? That's what this thing is.
Yeah.
All right.
Those burgers.
Composite.
I thought our grandma was named after it.
What?
Composite volcano.
Oh, I got it right.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay.
be like that, Jessa. I wasn't even looking. Yes, you were.
Jeez, Bridget.
Just be quiet.
Now, these are basically just going to be, basically they just look like large, normal mountains. Okay? Oh, my mustache hair's got my nose.
I hate that.
So these look like large normal mountains, okay? But they form due to hardening of large volcanic debris cooling. Okay? Now these are real super big explosive. Okay? So your Vesuviuses, your Mount St. Helens, your ones that, you know, they're a medium-sized dog but with a lot of bite.
Like a pit bull.
Like
Yeah.
Jaden's dog.
These are the pit bulls of the volcano world, okay?
I like my dogs.
I do.
They scare me.
Yeah, I don't like your dog either.
The one with the really wide shoulders is very terrifying.
Yeah, no, like you a long fella.
Okay, so real fast.
Keeps running, this is like right in the head.
Let's go to the tubes of you.
Let me try to bite my hand.
Go. Open. Do it.
Watch now.
Crystals, wait.
Very bad. Do not buy an apple. Not worth it.
What?
Wait, watch the SNL stuff.
Angel,
Very awful.
I gotta set it up to where you can meet my dog. Now you aren't scared of my dog anymore.
Bad bugs. Bad bugs.
Like James was scared of my dogs at first.
No, I'm still
That's like
scared.
this big, but he's got like a freaking 6-pack.
hey, Bush, shush. Here.
I've
Did we?
watched this before. Yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
I don't know, we can watch it again.
I've watched this the past 3 years in a row. You know, it's whatever.
May 18th.
It's an area of outstanding beauty, rich wildlife.
I was negative 14 when this happened.
Volcanoes have been found. By recent weeks, it's been lonely. Nobody's sure what to expect.
I think this is just a computer generated one anyway, but.
5.1 magnitude earthquake. Rocks like
Oh, there's a big old earthquake. That chipmunk's gonna die. Oh, those poor elks.
I think they just saw the cameraman move. Oh, jeez. Very realistic.
So see how it just kind of collapses on itself and then just starts throwing.
and colossal explosion.
Look at that.
A cloud of solid gas and mounds of pyroclastic flow races over the surrounding countryside.
Oh, you turned up the speed. I was like, I can see talk like that.
God, this is going really fast, Schultz.
4 miles below the summit. And
Oh, by the way, that's a real good strategy for when you're trying to pack a lot of things in a short amount of time. Turn the closed captions on and then turn the speed all the way to 2, and you can watch like 4 YouTube videos and like.
That's how my dad listens to books.
Because I listened to books while I was working, and I would turn the speed up to like
Anywho,
2.5.
so we've got that. All right, they do these super big, nasty, bang bang explosions. Okay, and the stuff that we throw up from those is called.
Oh, I thought we were done.
No, we got 2 things left. I told you we had 2 things left. Tephra. Okay,
Oh,
tephra.
Is this an important word?
This is basically just volcanic eruption debris.
Oh,
Okay,
second name.
and these can be anything from ash, okay, to rocks the size of a tractor. Okay, all of that goes under tephra. Super? Y'all happy? Here, let me change these numbers to numbers you can understand.
What's the pencil normally? Think I'll release something. 6 o'clock. This is how we should erase. And then
Okay, so the other thing we gotta talk about. Did you see all that smoke and ash and stuff that was just running down that hill real fast?
Yeah.
What do we call that?
Smoke stuff rolling downhill.
No, that's called your.
I know, I haven't watched the movie.
Avalanche.
Yeah.
Okay, and so this is basically a wall of tephra and gas
Off these paper.
moving downhill from volcano. Okay, and these can get to about 1,300 degrees Fahrenheit in internal temperature.
Uh-huh.
Pretty hot. And what is I gotta go. When they move about 50 miles. So there's this wall of gas and rock that is 1,300 degrees Fahrenheit, moving about 50 miles per hour.
Big scare.
Basically, if Yellowstone erupted, this thing would hit us in about 7 minutes, tops.